And that hard cut means we are remote again, everybody. We're remote. We just can't get any luck. I'm sick this week, everybody. It's on me. I apologize.
It's so funny because it started with Jordan, went to me, now it's you. Like,
it's just gone around. We got to stop coughing into the mic, everybody.
Yeah.
Getting us all sick. It's contagious. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're recording at another odd time as a result. Promises next week we'll be back at our normal time and our normal scheduled in person, hanging out with you guys. For everybody who has come to join us live today, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for being here. For everybody else, thank you for listening to us. Don't crash, drive safe, and don't use your cell phone. A lot of big news dropped this week, primarily around Halo. The Halo winter update news was dropped. Jord the Man is going to give us the straight dope, the straight skinny.
Yeah.
Is it coming? Are they making right choices?
Yeah, no, it's a good update. So it's coming
for anger.
No, it's a good update. It's coming November 8th, which I believe is this coming Tuesday. We're gonna have a 30-tier battle pass, which they showed off on their YouTube channel. Some of the stuff is cool, some of the stuff is meh. Kind of just, battle passes are always subjective, depending on what you like, right? But we get a new 30-tier battle pass. The big stuff, or the stuff I like, is they are adding their match XP system. So previously, or right now, you're only able to get XP for the battle pass through challenges. They are now adding the match X. Well, they give you a little bit of match XP, but they've now kind of have a more, I guess you could call it, robust system of match XP.
Call it robust.
Which
is it related to the better you play, the more XP you get type thing?
Yes. So there is actually a screenshot they showed of it. You get rewards for you get XP for being the MVP, so best player on the team. You get extra for being in the top 50% of your team. You get extra for winning, the usual. So like the better you play, the more you get rewarded within this match XP, which is really cool. They're also, along with that match XP, they're revamping the challenges just a little bit. So, Mark, you'll like this. Challenges are no longer playlist specific. So you shouldn't.
Oh, that feels so good. Let me enjoy this moment. That feels good,
baby.
Oh,
now that doesn't mean I don't think that means they're not necessarily like, get 5 melee kills with the Mauler. So you'll still have to deal with those.
Sure. Well, that's actually stuff that can happen in any game mode that I want to play. Thank you. So, I want to say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Halo team. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Every other game do that. That makes me feel happy.
On their YouTube or on their video that they did this week, they said that came from or what did they say? They said basically an outcry of community feedback. So you're not alone. So it's not just you.
That makes me feel good. They listen. Oh, yeah. That's good. That's good. Points to them.
Yeah. So no more playlist specific challenges. So basically what that means is it's not going to say win games in competitive or win games in big team battle. They'll be more general, if that makes sense. Also what they're doing with the challenges, since they're adding this match progression for the battle pass, they're kind of redirecting the challenges a little bit. So the challenges are still going to give you XP from what it sounds like, but they're going to be a little bit more focused on cosmetics. Like you'll do challenges to unlock cosmetics. So one change they're doing is previously, or right now, your ultimate for the week is like you have to complete 20 challenges, and then you get the ultimate challenge, which unlocks cosmetic. They're bringing that down to 10. So you only have to do 10 challenges a week, which will then unlock the ultimate. I believe they were bringing it down to 10. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway,
are the challenges harder now? Like, is that
I don't know.
What is that? That seems cool.
Yeah.
But are the challenges just doubled?
Yeah, I don't. We'll see on Tuesday.
Instead of 5 kills, is it now 10? So
but yeah. So the bullet points are challenges can be completed in any playlist, which is good for a lot of players. Challenges will be more general, which is also nice because that means you can play more the way you want to play while still completing challenges. We'll see how more general is come Tuesday. And then, of course, the big one, which I did just read here in the in one of the articles, players only need to complete 10 instead of 20 challenges to complete the ultimate challenge, which is usually that cosmetic. So
cool.
They've cut that. But one thing that's really interesting is they labeled the Match XP as Match XP Beta. I'm actually getting really annoyed with putting beta on everything. Like, why? How are you? I just don't get it. Like,
well, I get it. I get why they put it. It's just like it's the Captain America shield for development. It'll block with vibranium any
so
toxic comments. It's a beta.
They said that the reason they labeled it a beta is so that they can fine tune and adjust the match XP variables, right, up or down as community feedback comes in. Why not just say, hey, we're introducing match XP, these are the numbers we're starting with because they look like they feel good, and we'll adjust them accordingly. Like, why do you have to beta the match XP?
I mean, I get what you're saying, Jordan, and I'm sick of the word too. But at the same time, it gives people a verbal defense to defend their game a little bit. It sounds stupid.
But if you're not confident in your product,
but in fairness, it also sets expectations, right? We know this is not final.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting, I guess.
Like, it's true.
I think the problem
are you not confident enough that you cannot make a match XP system that you gotta beta test it?
Well, I think the problem with the term beta is there's no scale. So in beta, you have games as polished as Fortnite, all the way down on the other side to games that don't work at all.
Ben-Hur.
And everything in between. And so I think the definition that the games that don't work at all, why is that a beta, not an alpha, right? Like, and so there's this, it's like definition unclarity. It's just not clear for players, right?
Well, I just feel like the term beta is basically the new word for demo disc.
Did someone call you a beta, Jordan?
No, but you know how you'd get the demo disc in the magazines back in the 90s?
No, those were probably more polished than some of the beta games that we have.
Like a beta for me is that new game, Dark and Darker, that's comes out where they say, hey, we're beta testing for a weekend. Go in, try it out, let us know, and then we'll make changes. Next month we'll come back for another. Those are beta tests. You know what I mean? Because you're actually testing stuff. Like, I just don't get it. You know?
Let's take some super chats. DJ Hero says 28 months is still the best podcast on YouTube. Thank you very much, DJ Hero. Gamer Like Dad says first time I've caught you guys live. Been listening for almost a year now. Look forward to a new episode to listen to while I work. Thank you very much, Gamer Like Dad. And last but not least, Beast Brand A says he's a master beta.
Hey.
So with the term beta, David, because with your definition, I actually like that definition that you meant, or not definition, but that you mentioned that it's supposed to illustrate that something is not finished.
That's supposed to set an expectation.
Set an expectation of change. Is that how? I don't know exactly how you put it, but wouldn't technically every game ever coming out from here on out have is every game going to be a beta now? Because every game technically is adapting and changing. Yeah. So
I think technically at release, yes.
What's that? Technically what?
Technically at release, I think you're probably right.
Yeah. Which I don't like that. I'm going to be with Jordan on this. I think that's stupid. I think I'm probably an old man now. I remember the days when games came out polished and that, there wasn't game breaking bugs everywhere and they didn't rely on a day one patch.
It's just why it's exactly, we say this, we've said this before. It's why Elden Ring is such a good game because, hey, when it released, it was a full-fledged finished game and it worked.
Yeah.
Like those are two giant pillars to the foundation of a good game.
Yeah. And that game was fun.
Yeah.
So here's the technical definition. It's the first one that pops up on Google over at teenlibrariantoolbox.com.
That sounds like a website I can trust.
Yeah, that's definitely legit.
Or here we go. We'll use whatgamesare.com. Beta is a standard term to denote a milestone release during production in which game functionality is included and optimized but may have bugs. So the game is beta technically means the game is still in production. That's all.
Which I will admit, Halo Infinite is probably still in production.
Yes, that's so
as good as some of the parts are, but
so technically it's accurate.
But that's I'm kind of annoyed, and I've been annoyed for a while, and it's kind of frustrating to get fed unfinished games.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, so in the case of like Cyberpunk, that was not a beta that was released. That was a crappy final game that was released.
Yeah. Which was really unfortunate.
Really was. Shall we? Is this a therapy session about games that have hurt our feelings? Because that hurt.
Beast in chat is talking about Elden Ring.
It's a good game.
No, but not beta. It was not a beta game.
No, it is. It is not. It is not. But hey, anyway, winter update this Tuesday. The features that are in there are looking really good, and I'm excited to. I'm actually going to jump back in Tuesday, and I'm excited for it. There's one feature that I was hoping would be in this update, but I kind of knew it wasn't coming, and that was an additional progression system.
Yeah.
I don't know,
a badge, a nameplate, something that
badge,
shows.
yeah,
that
badge,
guy's
nameplate. I really like the tier system they have in Halo Master Chief Collection. I think they should just bring that over.
Yeah.
I think they should show that next to your nameplate at the beginning of each match. I think that would be a really good motivator for people to progress that, to get those bigger and better emblems, just like prestiging.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
Another thing that's frustrating is I feel like games, I like battle passes. I like the battle pass model in a game. I think it's decent monetization that I can choose to support or not support without, and generally all I'm missing is cosmetics if I don't support it. So it's not, for the most part, it's not pay to win mechanic, right? Battle passes are generally cosmetic, right? But it's frustrating even with Overwatch. It's super frustrating in Overwatch that the battle pass is the only progression. They got rid of all their other avenues of progression, which was really disappointing. Why, like Mark, why didn't they keep that level with the stars? I mean, I know why they didn't keep it. I just think it's a stupid reason they got rid of it.
No, you're not wrong. I would say Overwatch. I mean, this is from a competitive standpoint. I feel like for me, the progression is my rank. I guess.
Yeah, in competitive. Yes, I will give Overwatch has that. And yes, Halo has that as well. I think it's a little bit more, I don't know, it feels more prevalent in games like Overwatch because of the way Overwatch is set up. But I don't know. I just thought it was cool having that player portrait that every time you prestige, you got another star. After 5 times it went silver. Another 5 times after that it went gold.
Gold, diamond, platinum.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a cool progression system. I think
it's actually
it's just a shame they get rid of these features.
Why did they get rid of that in Overwatch?
Okay, so I don't think it's the official answer, but I also do think it's the official answer. So I'm not saying that this is why, but I think this is why.
Okay.
And I feel like I think this is why, probably because I read it on the internet somewhere, but so it doesn't hurt people's feelings in the respect that it doesn't get toxic because someone with 5 stars can be mean to someone with no stars.
They tried to do that on YouTube with no dislikes, with removing the dislike button, and guess what's back? The dislike button.
Did they bring it back?
Yep, go look. It's there. It just doesn't show the counter.
It's still there. I
thought they completely removed it.
The content, no, they didn't completely remove it. No, the content creator. Well, that was one of their things, was to protect the mental stability of content creators, but the content creators could still see it in the background.
Yeah, it just doesn't show.
What people have done actually, and I don't endorse anything without using it, and I use
browser
this
extension.
There's a browser extension that adds it right back, and it aggregates on its side of things. So it's on my Chrome browser. I still have a dislike, and it shows how much dislikes. It gives a, like they say in the footnotes of that Chrome extension, that it's plus or minus 5%, give or take what it actually is. And, you know, but yeah, that was, if you're really concerned about your content creators, you know, mental health, why even show it in the background then? Because they still can see
why
it.
show it to them
in the background?
It's that, honestly.
Yeah, that's not why they
change
did
the
it.
subject. That was one of the dumbest moves YouTube has ever done. It is completely. I can't tell if a video sucks or not without that. Like YouTube is I mean, it's a search engine. You're looking a lot of the time when you're looking on YouTube, you're not looking for stupid memes or anything. You're looking for I'm looking how to change my, you know, lawnmower parts and bits that I need to winterize and stuff like that. And I can't tell if I'm going to waste 10 minutes of my time, you know.
You pull up the video,
some guy that doesn't even mention that.
You pull up the video, the guy that doesn't like tighten the bolt back on that blade, and you can't see all the dislikes, you know.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know why we started talking. Oh, because of the mental health of gamers, I guess. So that would be the same.
I believe the reasoning was, and I'm not but this, I mean, it makes sense, and I would believe it, is they took it out to decrease the toxicity in the game. Which, by the way, I'm just gonna make a standard observation here. If you want to decrease the toxicity in the game, you get rid of keyboards and chat because I'll tell you, you give a gamer a keyboard or some type of chat pad, like including the Xbox, that's toxic right there.
You just go look at Dota. Just go log in.
Personally, I kind of appreciate it most of the time because it's, you know, keeps things interesting. But
and I do want to mention people. I mean, not to say that you should or should not be. I mean, you should not be toxic. I'm very, very against toxicity. A lot of gamers didn't experience the internet and in the wild west of gaming. We'll say from what 2004 to 2009. Let's call it the golden era of toxicity. Yeah, I mean, a lot has improved substantially that a lot of people may or may not know existed. I mean, do you remember the voicemails you would get on Xbox Live? Do you remember
Xbox 360?
Or Xbox 360.
The 30-second things. Some of that was pretty funny though.
Some of the most amazing.
You could probably just YouTube those. People have them saved. So Jordan, overall, the winter update. Should we be excited for Halo again?
I don't know. I mean, it's exciting in the respect that they're bringing features that people want, but you know, is it going to be the update that makes you drop everything else and come back? I don't think so. But I mean, it's a nice update for the Halo community.
I mean, what it shows to me is they're listening.
Yeah, no, they're trying.
Yeah, they're trying. They're doing. I appreciate that. I want to give them credit for forcing me to play game modes that I have no desire to play in. That gets me to shut off their game, to be fair.
And credit for bringing in the match XP, given, you know, something that should have been there at launch, but you know, we can't really, you know, complain about that anymore. So I'm glad, even though it's not there, that it's coming. So
on Tuesday. And it's not just you get 50 XP because you played. It's you're in the top 50%. That's awesome. That
top 50% MVP. I believe winning was one of them, and then like match of the day type thing, general XP, stuff like that. So
love it.
But
real quick, let's take a super chat. Gamer Like Dad actually just became an Arbiter member, tier 2 status. Thank you, Gamer Like Dad. Everybody in chat, let's drop some wingman statuses for Gamer Like Dad. If you'd like to support the show, come over to YouTube and become a member here on YouTube. Support us that way. Huge thank you to everybody who does. And Gamer Like Dad, welcome to the crew. He's got that loyalty badge now, that sexy X right there next to his name. Let's talk Fable. And Fable 2, we actually got a question in the mail sack this week from T Buckets. He says, "What's up, bros? Fable 2 is my favorite game of all time, and we've been waiting 12 years and counting for Fable 4 or the next Fable. We have also only seen the teaser trailer that dropped 2 years ago. What the heck do you think is going on with Fable?" He says, "Unfortunately, I'll miss the live show because of my damn anniversary." Happy anniversary, T.
What do you do? What do you do?
No, congratulations.
I do love the show almost as much as my wife.
Hey, all right, cool.
Thank you,
Yeah,
T
have
Buckets.
fun.
And
Congratulations.
happy anniversary. And to Mrs.
Yeah,
T Buckets, we're coming for you. We're gonna replace.
What does that mean?
We're gonna replace that position on speed dial.
Oh, gotcha.
We want to be the number one speed dial there.
We're coming for you.
So Fable. So fun thing on Fable. Actually, that's kind of a timely question because Matt Booty just dropped a statement on Fable.
Yeah, about
where he did an interview with Skill Up, and he was asked what is going on with Fable as Playground Games doing it. And this is what he had to say. He said they had a particular passion for the IP of Fable, talking about Playground Games. And he says, and I think they also demonstrated that they understand what the heart and soul of Fable is about and how they can bring it forward for today's sensibilities and just make a modern take on Fable. There's stuff that I wish I could share and show because some of the things that I've seen are so encouraging. This is not the first statement from an Xbox executive on Fable saying that what they're seeing, they're liking. It is Playground Games. They have a good pedigree, but that pedigree is in racing. Do we have concerns? Do we believe the executives? Do we think it's just PR? Jordan, man, let's start with you.
I mean, I think they can build a world. That's for sure. We've seen that with Horizon, especially with 3, 4, and 5. There were some features in 4 that I wasn't a big fan of, but the world itself was still good. And to do that with a racing game where, it's not necessarily known for its world, because it's a racing game, is, I think, a good achievement. I think they can build a good world. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the combat, because it's going to be third-person combat. That's what Fable is, right? So it'll be interesting to see how they make that shift. And I'm sure, like any studio, and I'm sure Microsoft is doing this as well as being the publisher. I'm sure they're hiring people with experience to put in those key positions to get that gameplay down, because obviously gameplay from a racer to Fable, which is a third-person RPG, is going to be very different. So. But no, I have faith in them. I mean, they're a good studio, and I hope they pull it off. The one thing I request, though, is I truly, really hope they bring back Albion orbs, like in the original. That was great when you turned that on and just saw people's gamer tags like floating around. You're like, I wonder where that guy's going.
I see Jordan right there. Hey, me and Jordan are playing the game.
Yeah,
Matt Booty talked about modern sensibilities, and that Playground Games has the ability to meet the modern sensibilities and take it, what did he say exactly? Bring it forward for today's sensibilities and make a modern take on Fable. What do you think what needs to be modernized in Fable? What would you like to see modernized?
What needs to be modernized? I mean, obviously you could just say like the controls, the camera, and like the gameplay itself. If you go back and play Fable, it's not that it's bad controls, but it's like it's kind of like when you play Witcher 3. You know how Witcher 3, although a great game, the controls, like, they're almost stiff, like when moving Geralt around. Does that make sense? When you guys played Witcher 3, like, it's almost kind of stiff, sometimes a little bit awkward, Fable did kind of feel like that, but I think that might have just been the product of its time, so I'm hoping he means gameplay, bringing that up to a modern state, right?
Spicy, any thoughts on that?
Oh, sorry. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fully open world, I think, would be a good one too. The original Fables were open sections, but you were kind of had to load into each zone, kind of like a Guild Wars, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Fully open world would be really seamless. Open world would be really, really good modern take as well.
Spicy.
Yeah. To add on that, that's what I was going to say, Jordan. I would say depth is probably a lot more modernized, meaning the length of the campaign, the actual world, its scale. I feel like every game we've gotten, the old games, they're great. They're just, the worlds are small. The campaigns probably aren't as long, especially like Fable was interesting. I don't think Fable was as replayable as other games. Like, let's take an Elden Ring, for example, not to compare the two, because they're RPGs, but they're different. I feel like I can replay Elden Ring a lot because of the different builds that I build. With Fable, it was like linear campaign with like sections. And so if you do make the move to open world, I believe that adds a lot of replayability. And maybe that's the modernization. But I mean, part of why I liked Fable as well was, I don't know how, I liked the weapons that were rare, and there weren't too many of them. I guess but maybe Elden Ring does a really good job at rare weapons too. Weapons with names. I don't know how else to call it. Like Borderlands. Let's take a game like Borderlands, which is a great first-person RPG. Essentially, the weapons are not legendary. Well, I guess they are. I don't know what I'm trying to say, David. I think basically the scalability and the depth to be increased substantially, which is maybe why it's taking so long to develop. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's how I would modernize it. I want this game to succeed, though. I want Fable to be great.
one of the things that stuck out, even in Fable 3, because I only played Fable 3. I didn't play the first two, and Jordan the Man considers that's the worst one. And even as the worst one, as a Fable noob going in, it dripped personality and atmosphere that you could just feel. So if it's missing that, like if it's just a generic open world RPG game, it's got to have, regardless of what they do to modernize it, it has to have that personality. It has to have that feel, that atmosphere that Fable is known for.
Yeah, Fable was really, really good at that. I think Fable 1, when I played that was like the first game that I could remember that actually had repercussions for being good and evil. Like your character would start...
You would visibly change, yeah.
You would visibly start changing. I remember they talked about it when the game was being developed, and it happened. You could cut down a tree, and that tree, when you grew up, was no longer there. There was repercussions, I guess, cause and effect of your actions in the game. To modernize that, I mean, I think Mass Effect came later, but Mass Effect was like that as well. It was taking that concept of things you did in the game actually mattered. And I feel like a lot of games post Fable have done well at taking that concept and moving it forward. I really feel like Fable was one of the first that ever did that. That sounds like a commonality now in gaming, that actions have consequences, but I feel like Fable was one of the earliest the developers were one of the earliest ones to put that in games. And it made it very interesting to play, because you could have an evil character or a good character, and it wouldn't punish you either way. It would just change how the game was. And that's really, really a fascinating way to play games. You have it in a lot of games now like that, but
well, I agree with you, David. I hope they nail that Fable personality. And that's another reason why it's good they got Playground Games, because Fable's personality is very British, right? It's very British humor, very tongue-in-cheek, British culture, humor. You know what I mean? So, and that's, I hope they don't try too
hard.
Well, I hope they don't take away some of that to make it more like, what's the word, like for a broader audience, right? Like, keep it, I hope they still have that the best way I can describe it, that very British feel, that British sense of humor that, anyway.
Yeah. Gamer Like Dad says, I cannot wait for Fable. So many feels for the previous games, yet so far away. Beast says, Fable is one of those games that changes gaming and has stuck in my mind forever. I think that goes to both of your points there on just what it was like.
I mean, David, I hope it's really, really good. The comment that you mentioned from that quote, he needs to say positive things. I don't mean to sound really pessimistic, okay? Because this is my take on that comment. His job is to say positive things about the game being developed. I mean, it's his job. Why isn't it more positive than what was his?
Very encouraging.
That's the word. It's encouraging. I mean, that's good. Like, why isn't it like the game it's looking great? It's looking awesome. We're really excited.
I think you can't do that until you're ready to show something.
I think the reason those are the words is because I think Fable 3 is still very far off.
Or
I
Fable
think
4?
like there
Fable
or
4.
Fable 4, is
Remember,
still
all we
very
got
far
was
off.
like a 10-second
Like
CGI.
I bet you, like I
Okay.
have a
Voice.
feeling that
we got a kick-ass voiceover.
yeah, I got a feeling that like Fable is like they probably don't even have textures in the game yet. Like it's all still a wireframe, or it's or like I feel like it's very early.
We'll
Like I
get
don't
the
think we're
next
gonna see
Elder
it.
Scrolls before we get that.
Yeah, I don't think it's I still I don't want to say they're in like pre-development stages, but I feel like they're very early on still.
Yeah, Rip City Raider agrees with you, Spicy and Jordan. It's developer blah blah. He says, blah blah speak.
Which that's encouraging, I guess. But I want it to be good.
Yeah,
So
Dr. Teeth says as long as they don't do the Sims direction, and also no Souls-like nonsense. Not every game needs it.
And yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I agree with
Souls games are very different and unique, and I agree with that 100%. So I think maybe he said that as I was referencing Elden Ring. It's just I like Elden Ring because they have
The replayability.
mythic weapons, like legendary weapons with names that actually have a story, and that's why I like Fable is some of those weapons. I think all of the weapons were unique, and besides like your standard weapons that you would get. But I remember finding a bow of, I can't even remember, it's been so long since I played, but behind a secret wall, and it was like, yes,
Yeah, baby.
this is what I want for my character to have, not a random roll on anything. It's a really good weapon, and that's
Well, see, and I also wonder with Fable, like, do they make it co-op, or do they just drop that altogether and just go all for the single player experience?
That's an interesting question, because it's almost as if single player campaigns have been dying out. But I would say the best games made to date are all single play. Well, there's really good games that aren't, but single player campaign games, they are the ones you remember.
It's true.
The good ones. They are the ones, and you can go open world. You can do linear open world. You can have like a Red Dead style.
Yeah.
You can have an Elden Ring. You can have just this
Well, but
style
see,
of game.
Elden Ring, to right now, my game of the year still multiplayer.
But you don't. It's not necessary. It's
not required, I guess. Right? It wasn't.
The story
designed
is
around-
single player in
Yeah.
design. It's just they added co-op, multiplayer capabilities to it, and PvP in that as well. It's just,
Yeah.
I would consider Elden Ring a single player game where they added that functionality on top of it.
That would be really cool if Fable had PvP somehow.
I mean, Breath of the Wild. I mean, God of War. Even though that's not open world, God of War is so good. Those are the games you remember, and those are maybe we get those far and in between because they're so complicated to develop. And maybe that's why I remember them so much. But I just feel, and maybe it's easier to tell a story with that kind of control. I don't know. If Fable goes the route of single player campaign, I have a feeling it's going to be very good because they can control that a lot more.
Well, I really hope they nail it, because Fable is it's another staple of the original Xbox franchise. You know what I mean? You had Halo, you had Fable. I hope they nail it. And Fable's got very deep ties to David and his family. David went on his first date with his wife, the release date of Fable 2.
And Jordan,
really?
Jordan was super annoyed because I came back.
You guys came home because I was trying to play Fable 2.
While he was trying to play it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
While Jordan was blocking me, I was blocking him.
One time it was it was funny because one time it was like, oh yeah, your first date was like October 27th, 2000 this. And my wife was like, how do you know their first date? And I was like, oh, it's the same day Fable 2 came out.
Same day Fable 2 released. That's why, baby.
Yeah, that's why. What are you talking about?
I don't remember our date. We'll release a great game, and I will. In other news this week, we did get some clarification from Phil Spencer on how much Microsoft is subsidizing Xbox, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, and it's anywhere between $100 and $200 for each console. Now, he did say this is with a Wall Street Journal Tech Live 2022 interview that he did, and he did say that that's just how it works, that they plan to make that money up on the back end with sales, essentially software sales, accessory sales, etc. We know Game Pass is a big part of that model.
Yeah,
now, the question is really, can they sustain that, or are we going to see a raise in that price?
Well, they already say that they're not raising the price after Sony decided to raise the price everywhere except America.
They did say that. That's actually correct. I forgot.
And then I know there was that guy in the comments that got mad at us because we didn't talk about them raising the price in India. Okay, there's a difference between raising the price in one country and the whole world except America. So that's what
in all countries except one.
Yeah, so there's a big difference there. But no, but talking about that, David. We didn't talk about it last week, but they also announced that Game Pass is profitable.
Yeah,
what they say? It's about 15% of their overall revenue or something like that.
I don't remember the percentage. They didn't give off hard numbers like dollar signs. They just did give a percentage of what revenue it makes, but it is profitable at this
so
point.
I mean, that's
spicy.
Sorry. Were you
was I supposed to say something?
Well, no, I don't know. I just Jordan stopped talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, my question, I'm not smart and savvy when it comes to that kind of stuff, but are they including the R&D of the building of the Xbox Series X and S? And are we including we're not including the Xbox One, and this he just said Xbox Series X and S. Yeah. So the R&D beforehand, I believe that's probably still in the price, and that's considered they're losing money still until they make it all back in hardware sales alone. Is that what I think? I mean, I don't think we have the numbers on it, but
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I would imagine R&D is all included, like it's all one price that then it gets.
And so that concept is not new. This is how consoles and I think hardware generally works in the gaming industry. I mean, Sony. I mean, that's probably why their prices were so high. Is or not so high that they're increasing their prices because they're not making as much as they thought they would later on.
Although the PS5 is no longer losing money. It's
no longer, so they're profitable now.
I don't know that they're profitable. I think they're just even.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, every console, from as far as I can remember, did this after. I know that the original Xbox was like that, right? And every console after that. So it's just that's just the industry, and they make their money back in software.
Yeah. Now, Phil Spencer has said that some things they're considering raising prices on some things, but didn't elaborate on it. Beast in chat says he thinks they're considering raising prices sometime next year. I don't think it's going to be on the console. I think the console is viewed as an entry point. I think what you'll see raised prices on is Game Pass and the family Game Pass, and I think they'll add options and then increase the price over the board. I mean, we're seeing that with software. And entertainment software, media software.
But there's a lot of pushback, though. That's the thing. There's a lot of negative pushback when that happens. Like, look at Netflix.
Yeah, it depends how you do it. You got to do it properly.
Yeah, but Netflix just were like, whatever, we don't care, we're doing it. And you're like, everybody's just like, oh, okay. So I mean, maybe you just take that mentality.
I mean, Nintendo doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So.
I don't know. It's a touchy.
Yeah, maybe it's sensitive thing. Game Pass. Maybe it is the console. I don't think so though. I think Game Pass is.
I also guess it depends on how much you raise the price too. Like, let's say you just raise it by $1.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
It's all economies of scale, anyways.
Yeah. So.
No, I think you have to do it by adding features. like a family pass or whatever they're talking about now.
Yeah, we know
Maybe
this is
maybe
coming.
they just raise the price of their accessories. I think that would be the smartest way to do it. Like instead of I mean, although I was
How do you
complaining
raise
about
the
it.
price on their current SSD hard or their NVMe hard drive?
Well,
It's
that's
from
what I'm saying. I think maybe that's how you do it. Like controllers,
$299 to $499.
instead of a $60 controller, it's an $80 controller. I mean, I know I was complaining
Ugh.
about that a couple weeks ago with the Elite stuff, but
There's no way they can do that. They can't make a controller cost 80% of one of their consoles. There's
Nintendo
no way.
does it.
Actually, valid point.
Yeah, with the Pro Controller, I think the Pro Controller is like $70.
Whenever there's a question on raising prices, we can always point to Nintendo. Well,
Nintendo, I believe,
Nintendo
is
has
the
no
reason
sales.
we have $60 games.
You think they go to $70? You think they follow suit? No, because Phil
If
Spencer said
look, that's
not a
how I
thing
know
too.
when the market changes, right? If Nintendo goes to $70, they all go. Because I believe it was Nintendo that went from 40 to 60, and then everybody was like, "Oh, you can do
We
that."
could charge $60 for one of these
And then
things?
and then everybody else. I believe, I don't know the exact history, but I'm pretty sure it was Nintendo that went first.
Oh man. Well, maybe because of their in-between launch dates on their new consoles, because they don't release in a normal manner.
Well,
Yeah, they
and I
just
mean,
do it
given
whenever they feel
Nintendo,
like it.
Nintendo usually
There's
has
no-
the cheaper
There's no usual
price-wise.
cadence. They'll throw a Wii U at you every once in a while.
Oh man. Well,
Maybe hear me out. Hear me out. What if they do this? I'm just throwing this out there, business advice for Microsoft. What if they raise the price of Office 365?
Subsidize.
Yeah.
dude.
I actually hate those subscription models for software. Hate it.
Yeah, everybody already
too.
hates it. Just
Hate
raise it by $5.
You know where they get
I
it.
actually think that's where Apple with Final Cut Pro does it better. Unfortunately, I'm sucked into Adobe Suites and Final Cut Pro standalone, but it's a one-time price, infinite updates. I want that. Freaking monthly payments piss me off.
Yeah. Well,
And yet I have a Game Pass, and yet I love Game Pass, so it doesn't piss me off with everything.
I was gonna say something, but I totally forgot on that monologue that you just hit, David. That's how powerful that was. It totally,
that one struck
shook
to
me.
your core.
It shook me.
It's truth, like a sword, deep.
I strongly dislike that whole system. And you know what? You know what's funny? So, with Microsoft 365 for personal use is actually it's relatively inexpensive. As soon as you add business in front of it, that's where they gouge the hell out of you.
Yeah. So that's where they should raise the price on that end.
Enterprise software is where the money is.
Oh my god!
Slack used to be free, and now we're locked out of all of our past messages.
Yeah, yeah, I know. The good old days of the Wild West of the internet. No, yeah.
Anyways,
Adobe. Don't get me started on Adobe, David.
Then I'm sitting there, and I've got my Photoshop, my Premiere, my Audition, all docked right here on my new computer. I'm sitting happy. The next day, I wake up and I'm like, where'd they go? Oh, Adobe Cloud upgraded them to a new version, so you've got to go put them back in your dock. Like, did I ask you
their
to
updates?
Adobe? Did I ask you to update? I didn't. Thank you very much.
Oh, updates suck on every scale, and the commonality of what's happened is I think it's because of Windows from like 2007. I don't know. You have no choice anymore. You have no choice to like my phone. It pisses me off. It says you have an update, and it keeps flashing every like 10 minutes. You have an update waiting. I don't want an update, T-Mobile. You screw my phone. You make my phone go slower. You make programs not available to me anymore. You make the battery life suck. I don't want that. But you literally have no choice anymore with updates.
I would. How much would you pay on Adobe? Just Adobe. And also the other thing that they can't do is in their suite, there's only like 3 items that I use, but you can't just bundle. It's not a la carte. It's very frustrating. I would pay a few $1,000s one time for an Adobe Infinity, to not have to pay a monthly fee.
Well, they won't do that because they used to do that.
They make more money off the subscription, right? Like,
I know.
Well, and I don't mind paying for a stable version of their program because every update that Adobe has breaks everything I have. Like it breaks.
I remember I was on like Photoshop. I don't even know what Photoshop when you used to be able to just buy the Photoshop for like $500. Remember?
Yeah,
So
I think it
had
was like $1,200 or something, but I know exactly.
I had it as a student, so it was discounted.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I had that one, and I had it for forever. And one day I jumped in. This was only like a year ago, like to Photoshop 2020. And I was like, oh, there's smart object removal. Wow, look how fast this is. It was like a spaceship that I had missed out on.
Yeah. Well, that comes with a price.
Yeah, I
Apparently.
mean they gotta pay for that really nice building down the street from us that no one works at because they all work from home.
Yeah, anytime I drive by that building, so everybody, the Adobe campus is here in Utah. They moved, and every time I drive by that, it is empty. It is empty. Where is everybody? Where's my subscription money going?
Well, obviously not to the employees. That's never how it works.
Well, yeah, I'm not. At least give it to them. But
that's not how it works, David, and we all know that.
All right, Modern Warfare. We talked about it last week. Jordan the man, where you at with it? McSpicy, where you at with it? Still happy? Still content? Or are there issues?
I'm still liking the game a lot. I think it's really fun. I think I've hit my stride with it this week. I really like the weapon system, like I talked about last week. The gun trees. I like changing guns. I like having that. Modern Warfare does really good, or Call of Duty does really good progression. At least this year's version, right? I didn't play Vanguard, but the progression of going through all the weapons, the getting gold skin progressions, your general level progression, and then the battle pass progression that we'll have in a couple weeks here. I mean, they're doing progression correctly because there's multiple avenues of progression. You always feel like you're growing your account and grinding for, or I don't want to say grinding, but or going for something, right? I think games like Halo would benefit from this, from and I've said this before, like some type of weapon camo progression that Call of Duty does in their games, but it's been really fun. I've been playing a lot of the third person mode, a lot of the single life modes like Prisoner Extract and Knockout. We've been playing with some friends of ours that that live out on the Hawaiian Islands.
Some relatives
of ours. They've been getting into it as well. Mark still hasn't bought it because he refuses to.
Well,
but
do you know why? I mean, we were kind of talking about this before. $70.
It is. It's a big one.
Why do I have to pay $70 for a 5-hour campaign and a multiplayer that I will no longer play in a couple weeks when Warzone comes out? I don't see why $70.
Spicy, you can't put a price on memories, baby.
Or fun.
But that's $70.
Of fun and memories.
Toward the man.
That's literally the only holdup I have had with this game. Besides, watching people play and raging when they kill somebody and then they spawn behind them. That's exactly why I stopped playing Call of Duty in the first place.
Yeah. The spawns, I've gotten into a couple like spawn situations where it's like, really? Really? So
I just had
I
paid $70 for that.
And even the DMZ mode that they're coming out with, from what I've read online, it's not behind a paywall. That's like the Tarkov-esque mode that they're coming out with. So the things that I'm interested in are not $70 worthy. I guess I should say that.
Well, he's only got 2 more weeks till Warzone, I believe. So
I'm holding out. I am
He's holding the line.
Out. I'm king of the castle right now, David. So I'm holding out, and I'm making it. I'm making it work till I get Warzone.
Yeah, but no. Overall, I really like it. I know some people aren't a big fan of like the perk system. I've seen a couple people don't like the perk system. I don't know, but I like it. I understand why people don't like it, and I get the reasoning, and I think there is some valid points there with not being able to have all your perks from the start. But I like that progression of getting the perks in the perk packages. It just I kind of like the feeling that beginning game and end game in a match do feel different because of the perks that you have, and I know some people don't like that, and that's fine. But I don't know. It's just this whole year of Call of Duty for me just feels like a nice fresh take on a lot of the previous systems. So like progression, the weapon trees, the perk package, menu's still terrible. They did talk about they're going to make some
Updating the
adjustments
UI.
to make it better. But
That's so sad that that's one of the
Pretty
things
bad.
they need to talk about. That should be. I don't know. That's one of those things that you need to make sure is you A/B test that. You know, you have people use it and you go, oh, this interface sucks bad. And then you write that down and go fix interface. And then you take care of that.
Betas last time. That's what the beta's for.
Okay, I like lost my mind this week. Like I felt like Will Ferrell from Zoolander when he's like, "Am I taking crazy pills?" Like that's how I felt because I was playing with our friends and stuff, and I found out that the good friends system, like the good friends list, is actually in the game. You just have to go through the crap and then scroll over 3 times to get to it. And it's like, it's there.
Why'd they hide it?
Put that up front.
Yeah, why'd they hide it?
Yeah, I like it was.
What
I
are they
seriously
hiding?
like. I almost had like a. I was like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Why is it way over here when it should be here? Like I don't understand.
Because Jordan, $70. That's why. That's $70 of engineering right there.
Yeah, I
No,
don't.
That's the Hulu team coming in and making sure it's running right.
It's like they want to show off like the player cards and stuff like that, and that's why they have like the weird. Like, you can only see like 3 of your friends, and then you have to scroll down. It's just, but it's if you're gonna do that, why not show it off like in the lobby when you invite your friends? You know what I mean? Show it off in that main lobby where you're all sitting, looking at each other, sitting down on ammo crates and stuff. Anyway, like have everybody's nameplate on the side. You know, and then you can be like, "Oh, hey, wow, David, that's a cool nameplate. How'd you get it?"
Oh, well, let me tell you.
Not whereas now the conversation is, I can care less about your nameplate because I got to go through 15 menus to get you into the game.
Yeah, at this point, you'd think that would be taken care of before release.
Yeah, but they did say that they were going to work on it. I don't know what that means. So I don't. Maybe they'll make some adjustments. I doubt it. Like, I don't think we're going to get a whole... Hey, if we do, credit to them. Go Infinity Ward. I would appreciate that. I don't think we're going to get a full menu overhaul. I would like one, but I don't think we're going to get one. So...
That's funny. We do have a few super chats. Let's take them here real quick before we wrap up the show. Reactor Leak drops a super chat for $10 and says, here's the first contribution to David's Adobe Infinity purchase. Thank you very much, Reactor Leak. I appreciate that. He has another super chat celebrating his 29-month anniversary. He says, has it really been that long since Mixer went away? I'm old, dude. It has been that long. It has been that long.
Yeah.
I also had this thought because Matt Wilcox jumped into chat and said, what's up, guys? Who's sick this week? LOL.
yeah.
And then he said, Spicy called it last week. Hope you feel better, X1. And I just had this realization. We're doing remote when one of us is sick to prevent the other ones of us from being sick.
And now we've all been sick.
And it's just prolonged it for 3 weeks. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Next week, we're just doing it no matter what.
It's like back in the old days when some of the kids had chicken pox and they
all
all
in the same room. Yeah, look at this is making us weak.
We're
Us
weak.
being considerate has just made us weak.
You know what? There probably is a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, because here's the thing. We live close enough. We all live within 5 minutes of each other. Like, we're in the same community. So when a sickness goes through the community, we're all going to get it. Just get it over with. It's like ripping off a
what's
Band-Aid.
crazy is I think I got it from my kid. So he's 9 months-ish now.
Yeah. Oh, and they get over it in like one day.
He had it for a day.
Yeah.
That
And
kid,
when they have it, the only part that's a problem is when they sleep, because during the day, like my kids, when they have it, they're like jumping on trampolines, running around. They're just puking in between, but they're still having fun. Why can't I do that?
it's because we're old, man. Yeah. We're old now. And yeah, I got hit for like a week and a half with that one. I'm like,
today is the first day I felt better. And I don't even feel better. It just is better than it was yesterday.
Yeah, you sound better. You sound better than yesterday.
Oh, thank you. Hey, thank you.
Hey, I would like to mention one more thing before we leave, if that's okay. Tomorrow, Saturday, November 5th, at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, Soulfinder, a member of the community, is putting on a little Fall Guys.
Yes, Soulfinder here in chat right now.
He's also here in chat. So those that are hearing this before then, Fall Guys, I believe, is free to play. I don't think I paid for it.
It is free to play.
I know I bought some sweet skins.
Free to play.
But yeah, so go ahead, download it, jump in. Soul Finder will have that tomorrow, November 5th at 10 a.m. Mountain Time.
Yes.
And I just want to say this.
Say it.
Soul Finder and I were talking about this you know, the community play that he wanted to do with Fall Guys, because it's actually the perfect game for it. It really is. And we still need to do our community play before the show one of these days as well.
Play before the show.
But he told me specifically that he wanted to do it at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And I told you guys this before the show. I really appreciate that, because all my life I've had to do like 8-7 Central. You know, like I have to always like, you know, conform to other time zones.
Why was it always 8-7? Why was it always like 9-8 Central? Why don't they go through all three?
I don't know.
I don't know. Is on Central Time,
because honestly, no one cares
about the good spot. I want to take the Central guy's spot. I want Mountain Time to be the new Central Time. You know, like I want people to be like, "Hey, 7 Mountain Time this weekend."
The reality, guys, is I learned this. You want me to tell you a story about when I learned that? I learned that no one cares about you. Okay. I learned this at a very young age. I'm going to tell this story. Okay. This is a spicy corner. Maybe I should do this pre or post show, but I don't care. I'm going to tell you right now. When I was a kid. Oh, wow. We have the camera up close.
Look at the camera, baby.
When I was a child, at probably 7-8 years old, I learned this very important, life lesson. I was at my grandparents' house, who lived in Nevada at the time. Every summer, I have a large family of children, or I have a lot of siblings. We would go for a couple of weeks to my grandparents' house in Nevada. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's like no one knows where that is. It doesn't matter. Remember, this is a hell of a time. This is around the 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
My grandma took me to get a haircut, and I don't know if it's the same now. I go to a barber now, which is a different experience than how it used to be. But they used to have like these posters of all these like cool people on the wall. And I was like, that one, I want the flat top. I want the flat top haircut. That looks bad. I'm like 8 years old at the time. I don't know what's good or not, but that person had a flat top and I wanted it. So they cut it, they trimmed it, and then they styled it, and it was super like flat toppy, like Vanilla Ice style.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to show my siblings. It was like the coolest thing. In my head, I'm like,
they crushed you, didn't they?
Yeah. Okay. So I go into my grandparents' house, and they're all watching, like all my siblings are watching TV. And I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity to show off. And I jump in front of the TV and I start singing. I remember this vividly. This is how important this story is to my life. I started doing the like an 80s song and dancing. And they all at the same time yelled at me, saying how stupid I was. Get out of the way. We're watching TV. And I walked away like, that didn't go how I expected it to go down. Huh.
How did you?
No one cares about me.
How did you picture it going down? Like they were like,
yeah, I don't know. It was like they were like, oh, you're the coolest guy. But I realized that we live in Jordan, this is going back to the time zone. We live in a time zone that no one cares about. Literally, no one in the world cares about.
Yeah. Well, look,
I have to laugh at a few things here.
Nope.
Number one, I love that's the lesson you took away from that. Not don't jump in front of the TV when other people are watching TV.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I know where we're at on the time zone food chain, right? And I bet you the central guy, I bet you he was there at one point too. What I'm saying is one day I'm
fought for his time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Chicago's there, which is huge. So
one day it may not be a year from now. It may not be 100 years from now, but one day when you're watching primetime TV, you're going to see the announcement Dancing with the Stars this Saturday, 7 Mountain Time. Like it's going to be, we are going to be the time.
Technology is outpacing.
I am tired of doing conversion for every other time zone.
No. Jordan the man.
They're going to come do it to my time zone.
Jordan, we cannot compete with Dallas and we can't compete with California. We're in the middle, man.
We already got the Adobe building. We took that from California.
We got Adobe, bitch.
Yeah, we took that. We'll take it all.
Anyways, yeah. Oh, all right, Jordan. If that's your dream, I was just trying to set your expectations. And I have since become successful in my life, I feel, because I'm not reliant on, specific things like you got to do it on your own.
Because you internalized jumping in front of your poor siblings were just trying to watch a show.
I know. It's so stupid. But I was like 7 years old. I don't know. I think in my head they're gonna be like, "Holy cow, that's a flat top.
Whoa,
He looks like that guy on the
Mark,
famous."
you're so badass.
Thanks, Matt Wilcox. Thanks everybody in chat that's saying my.
But anyway, that being said, thank you to Soul Finder. Fall Guys community play tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mountain Time.
No,
November 5th.
by the way, you know who has it bad time
cool.
wise? Hawaii. Why isn't Hawaii ever mentioned as a time?
Because look at the map. There is literally nothing.
They're like the one guy that's lower than
thousands.
us.
No, but think about like what? So what are they? How many hours back of California? 3 hours?
It's depending, yeah. Depending on daylight, but
so
they're more than 3 hours.
5 hours? Is it 5 hours?
No. So they're 4 right now to us because we are the king time zone in my mind. So they're 4 hours behind us, and then I think on Sunday for daylight savings they're going to be 3 because I think they don't change, right? Are they one of the ones that don't change?
I think it's different. I think it's 5 and 4. I think you have it backwards.
No, I think it's 4. I have to coordinate with the Hawaiians frequently when we play games, and I'm pretty sure it's 4.
And I think it fluctuates. But yeah, he's right. I think Jordan's right.
Okay, but regardless, so like a Monday night football game starts at what, 6:30, 7:30. Let's say a game starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. Game for Hawaii, Mountain Time is like 7 a.m. And then like Monday night football starts at like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. for them.
That's
but I mean, football. Like they're in the middle of nowhere. We're less in the middle of nowhere. They're in the middle of nowhere.
The trade-off is you live in Hawaii, right? You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
you said that like with disdain, but I think Hawaii's quite nice.
No, that's what I meant. Like there's probably things that like suck about living on an island, but there's a lot of really good things about living there, like the beach.
Well,
and the fact that it's nice.
Nowadays they have Walmart and Costco and anything you need. So
yeah,
except land, because you can only drive around the island. They don't have land.
It's like that's like a mainlander joke to the islanders.
Oh man, well, and so the whole reason you brought that up was the appreciation for Soul Finder setting up the time, stating that it was Mountain Time. Right?
Yeah, I like that. I appreciate that.
Soul Finder is in Utah. That's why.
So he knows he's a part of the King time zone.
He's a fellow King.
He's a fellow King time zone. Yeah.
Oh, see, but that's not as. I mean, that's great that he was nice enough to do that. But since he's in this time zone, he understands. But
no. See, he's already he's a part of the fight. He doesn't say, hey, he doesn't do the calculation for you. He just says, hey, this is the time it is. If you want to come, you better calculate where you're at in the world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
All I know is we're +6 on the stupid 24 scale.
Yeah.
We're +6.
Yeah. I don't even know what that means.
Like it's not the Geneva code, but no, it's like the universal scale.
Standard time.
Yeah, I think, isn't there a line in like London that's like, this is the center of the universe?
Yeah.
And then we're +6. It's +6 off of that, I think. Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This discussion has gone way off.
Hey, one thing though, I will say, I do feel bad for the Hawaiians because only recently have oceanic servers been starting to actually get popular with video game companies. Can you imagine playing at that ping? Oh,
at what ping? 0 or 5,000?
100 plus.
Oh yeah, that sucks so bad. Sorry, Hawaiians.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
but the trade-off is you do get to live in Hawaii. So
that's true. Hawaii's quite nice.
So, what would you pick, Hawaii or ping?
Ping.
100% ping. Yeah. Hawaii's nice, but I never go outside.
It's not that nice.
Hey, could that be a T-shirt? Hawaii or ping? Question mark. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an EV.
You do that with anything. Boobs or ping.
Ooh.
See, now
we're thinking.
Okay, I think this is a post-show discussion, David.
I think I still go ping there. Yeah. Ping is like diamonds. It's forever.
It's forever.
It's true. Once you have stable internet, you take it for granted. Like you really do.
Ping will change your life.
Yeah. Well, we got to
Everybody-
have that discussion later.
Yeah, we will.
That's a good one.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't, come join us. Oh, our website's back up, XoneBros.com.
Is it?
Go jump over there. I haven't tested it. You just told
I've
me.
been working on it all week, and I don't think it is.
Oh, it's not. Guys, we've had.
It's not.
India,
It's really. I've been actually wanting to talk to you about making a change.
Oh, India has.
I like
us.
how when you Google it, it just says no information available for this page. Learn
So,
why.
yes,
White.
it's
White.
Yeah,
now.
no, yeah.
It's a
it's-
white
yeah.
for me.
that's actually progress. Actually, the fact that it's not on the gray screen is progress.
Oh no, I was just talking about when you Google search it, like so when you get the search results.
Oh no, yeah, still not this. Okay, it's not progress. Yeah, we're still working on it. Good announcement though, David. Our website is still down.
It's
and
in progress, everybody.
I'm still working on it.
It's in progress.
It's something else.
Some angry dude in India took us down.
So
I wonder if it was the guy that got mad about the Xbox
That-
thing.
It's the guy that you yelled at.
Yeah.
wait, did you yell? Did you?
No,
were you
there was
impolite in your discussion with
No,
him?
I wasn't impolite. I was just
Always
like
impolite.
there was like I was 4 or 5 shows ago, someone in the comments, because we were talking about the price change on Sony and how I don't think it was a great move if you don't live in America. You know, like that kind of was an interesting move and it sucks for the world.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
he mentioned in his comments, he basically mentioned aggressively that why didn't we mention the Xbox price hike in India? And I just thought in my mind, because raising it in one country where I believe actually all console manufacturers raise their price in India, as opposed to raising it across the world is a very different story.
Well, isn't India in the rest of the world grouping that you made? Because you said the rest of the world, right?
Yeah.
And India is in that circle of grouping.
No,
that
yeah,
you made.
no. That's so Sony did that. They raised the price everywhere except America. And remember, I thought it was due to immigration. They wanted people to move to America.
Yeah.
and that didn't pan out. But anyway, he was saying that why weren't we talking about Xbox
raising
raising
the price
prices in India? And my
I mean,
thought was
in
because
fairness to him, there's like billions of people over there. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet you their time zones are. We have to compete against them coming soon. Like there's way more people in India than.
anyway, I remember looking it up, and Xbox did, because I was curious. I looked into it. I think Xbox did raise their prices. I don't anyway. But again, there's a big difference on raising your price in one country, which okay, I'll admit sucks, because I think that's what our initial thought was when Sony raised the price. But anyway, there's a difference between that and raising it across the
that
world.
dude got pissed and he sabotaged our website. That's
Mm.
So I wonder if it
Keyboard
was him.
warriors,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I wonder if it was him.
They're rough.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a good week. We'll be back in person next week, and we'll just get sick all together at once from now on.
Yeah, why not?
Everybody, have a good one. See you.
We love you. Thanks,
Xbox.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.